Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Okay.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
to get us going, let's go trackside here and join tonight's opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as our colors are presented by the United States Army Nashville Recruiting Battalion. We ask you to remain standing for invocation delivered tonight by Joe Nels, pastor of Family Baptist Church in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks. So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. And most of all, we thank you for Rouse and Yates partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the R07 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. My two children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for our next event, presented by Davy Flowers.
Welcome everybody to Racing for a Cause TV. I'm your host Chris Legge. With me tonight, Rick Hammond Jr. Tonight we watch the boys at Racing for a Cause in the late models here at Irwindale International. Rick, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Chris. How are you tonight?
Oh, buddy, I'm doing good. Really kind of getting excited. Looks like we have a lot of drivers out there so far in this practice. Still have probably about 13 minutes more of practice to go. We'll cover that time, no problem. And I'm ready to see this thing.
Oh, I'm ready, Chris. I've been waiting all day to watch this race. We're heading over to Irwindale, 100 laps. It is going to be awesome.
Yeah. So far, I've seen some names we haven't seen in a little while. A couple of new names again to the league or to the series. I see Alan Wild out there. I haven't seen Alan racing with us for a little while. Really happy to have him back. He's going to be in the 29 car tonight. JP, Justin Pinnell, who missed Monday night's race, he's looking to storm back. And I've got an inside story on one Mr. Rick Greenaway, who seems to think he has a top 5 finish in him tonight. We're going to see about that. So a lot of stories. We're going to see where they all end up after 50 miles. That's 100 laps here on this little half mile.
Yeah, I definitely want to give a big shout out to Alan Wild. It's good to have him back into the league with us here. We also have AJ Rogers, who's a new member to Racing for a Cause. And Rick Greenaway definitely has some competition here tonight, Chris. I know there is one rowdy person who has been practicing and is ready for this track. He loves it. So I'm going to keep my eyes out on the number 13 car, Rowdy Johnson, see how he does.
Rowdy Johnson in the D-Strong 13. We're taking a nice look at the hood of that car right now. Right now, though, we're going to take a look at Chris Mefford, currently leading the speed charts here in practice. He's driving the number 44 car, and he seems to be fighting the wall quite a bit, and collects the 52 along with him right there. Take a look and see if we can find some other drivers out on the track. We've got Scott Noslin joining us tonight in the 33. Come and go, Crisco car.
Yep, Scott Noslin, the king of Iowa, Chris. He came here, our first race in the late models. He won. I believe that was the first time in the league that he has won here. So, huge congratulations on that. But he also raced with another league and won there at Iowa. And I believe he also did an official race maybe at Iowa. And he says that he really doesn't like the track, but it definitely doesn't show. So his new nickname, the King of Iowa.
The King of Iowa it is. Timothy Hale sitting on a Brenner Children's Hospital car right there in the 00. Robbie Bunden, he's looking good in that Pennzoil car. Of course, we know Justin Pinnell, he's driving the number 60 Dish Network. And Susan G. Coleman. Take a look at last week's winner, Brian Hacker, as he slides the rear end of his car into the wall. He's got a new paint job. He's running the ASPCA. Of course, we talked about Rick Greenaway already. You see some heavy damage on the right front, but hey, it's practice. Andy Lambert in the 35 Children's Miracle Network car. Dylan Blankenship in the 51 Mellow Yellow. We've got Patrick Smith, and for the life of me, I cannot read what that hood says. Something Foundation. Rick, you know what that one is?
Yep, that's the Merritt Pitbull Foundation and the NRA Foundation car that Patrick Smith had painted for him, running 2 different causes tonight.
Perfect. Douglas Wysocki in the 45. He's running the Crown car. James Edwards coming in the Carolina car. Not sure if that's south or north. Hilton T. Young. He's running Church's Chicken. Of course, we talked about Alan Wild and Troy Radford's. Looks like he's loading up right now. So that's a pretty decent rundown of the cars that are out there right now. Also, it'd be remiss if we didn't say hi to the people that are watching. So hello, all your viewers. If we sound good, if we look good, please let us know. We want to make sure that everything's coming across the right way. If not, we can fix it now instead of during the practice. That'd be great. Take a ride around the track, and looks like Patrick Smith in the 75 car is going to show us the way. This track looks like it's extremely loose. All I see is the rear of the car coming around. So, should be some plenty of action tonight. Again, Rick Hammond Jr. and myself, Chris League, up in the booth to try and keep up with it all. It's a half-mile track. It's going to be fast.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fast, Chris. I'm looking at the weather here. Right now, it's partly cloudy, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. The track temperature is actually 111. That's definitely causing those cars to slide around a little bit until those tires warm up and get a little bit of wear on them. The wind's coming out of the east at about 8 miles per hour, between 8 and 9. Relative humidity is at 44%, so it's going to be interesting tonight.
Still watching Chris Mefford as he scrapes the wall. Some nice sparks off from the side of that car. Here's one we haven't seen yet. Well, we're going to take a look. We're riding along nose cam. Troy Radford in the 94 car. Troy Radford, Monday night's winner in the K&N Throwback Series. A great run for him. He's looking to try and repeat tonight in the late models.
Yeah, Troy did a good job there Monday night when the K&N Throwback Series went over to Richmond. He led a majority of that race and he brought it home, so it was good to watch him do that.
Yeah, he had a great race Monday night. Actually, everybody had a great race Monday night. That was really fun to watch. Very exciting.
And I love Troy's paints too. He's running for the Kidney Foundation, which is great. He is also part of the Autism Awareness Racing Group on Facebook, along with a couple other members here, Chase Swafford, Rick Greenaway, and there's a couple other ones. And that paint was done by Chase Swafford himself at Speed Decals. If you need a paint, looking for something that is good and fairly cheap, look up Speed Decals up on Facebook.
There you go, and we have a new leader on the top of the practice board. That's Robbie Bundon. Robbie Bundon driving the Pennzoil 87 car. So he's found some speed. He's found a way around this track. Right behind him, the 52 of Chris Rummel. Last season, we were running about 18 seconds. Somewhere in the lower to mid 18 seconds per lap. These guys are having a time trying to get to that. But it looks like we have a few that are in the upper 18s, and that's just based on weather. It's pretty much the same setup as we get ready to watch some qualifying.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what these guys can pull out. I don't know what's usually different from when we race this, Chris. I mean, we are in the afternoon here, and are we usually running this at night or no?
We've run them at night. I think, last season it was kind of early on in the season, so it's probably a little cooler than it is today. We do run dynamic weather, so that might be part of it. We may have run at night. I'm trying to remember, and I don't right now. Anyways, right now we're following the 75 car, Patrick Smith, as he attempts to qualify for the race. Looks like just about everybody's taking their qualifying laps right now.
Yeah, they're slowly starting to trickle in right now. AJ Rogers in the number 17 car is posting the pole with a time of 18.699, so we'll see what happens there.
So a little unexpected speed out of AJ Rogers, and that could just be the track starting to rubber in, starting to take the rubber from the tires and give them a little extra grip that they didn't have before. We're going to watch last week's winner in this series, Brian Hacker, as he comes around to finish off his qualifying run. Brian Hacker right now, looks like he has qualified 10th. Yes, 10th. Chris Mefford out on the track in the 44 car. And Chris Mefford looks like he's the last one to qualify. Don't know if Hilton Young is going to qualify or not. Maybe he's having some mechanical issues. And that takes care of qualifying just like that. So when we come back, we're going to get ready to go to green flag racing. We'll be right back with you. And we're back, and it looks like Hilton Young got whatever the issue was figured out. He's on track qualifying for this event tonight. 100 laps here at Irwindale. We're going to go on the outer portion of Irwindale. There are 2 portions to this track. Well, 3 if you want to count the figure 8. But there is an outer and an inner. We are running the outer tonight. Again, I want to thank all the viewers out there. If you have a favorite, let us know. We'll try and peek in on your favorites from here and there. And otherwise, we're going to get ready to show some pretty intense action. This little half-mile track is a lot of fun to drive on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Chris, to see how the drivers really start out here with the track being so smooth. I mean, obviously, they want to see a little bit more rubber down on the track to gain a little bit of traction, but I think we're in for a good show tonight.
Yeah, I think so too. And right now we're just waiting for the grid. That should be coming pretty soon. You have a favorite for tonight, Rick? Oh, don't tell me. I don't really want to know.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I want to mention any names out there, because usually when that happens, something happens to them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what I was thinking.
You know, as long as the guys have fun and as long as the viewers have fun, as Chris said, you know, we definitely want to thank everybody that came out tonight to watch us. It amazes us each and every week, or every Monday and Wednesday when we're racing, to see you guys out there. So thank you again, and let's hope for a good show. And I'm not gonna pick a car yet; it's a little too early. Maybe at like lap 99, I'll let you know.
There we go. As we get the grid going, we're about a minute and a half or so from really lighting this thing up. Thank you all again for coming out and watching. This is going to be a good one. As the cars start rolling off, Rick, why don't we go through the grid for everybody?
Certainly, Chris. On the first row, AJ Rogers in the number 17 car gets the Racing for a Cause pole award tonight with a lap of 18.699. On his outside there, it's going to be Troy Radford in the 94. The next row is Chris Mefford in the 44, number 33, Scott Noslin. In fifth and sixth place, we have Robbie Bunden in fifth and Timothy Hale in sixth. Dylan Blankenship takes seventh. Andy Lambert qualifies eighth. Justin Pinnell in the number 60 car qualifies ninth. And 10th place is Brian Hacker in that number 11 car. The next row is going to be Chris Rummel in 11th. Alan Wild making his return back to Racing for a Cause late models qualifies 12th. Rick Greenaway in 13th. Lucky number 13. It hasn't worked for Rowdy. Maybe it'll help with Rick. But right there next to him is number 13, the Rowdy one, Rowdy Johnson, who qualified 14th. Patrick Smith is 15th. Next to Douglas Wasaki in 16th. James Edwards in the number 5 car qualified 17th. And rounding out the field tonight is Hilton T. Young in that number 37 car in 18th as we go green.
And green flag, AJ Rogers with a launch. He gets us going, leading the first lap so far. You see him already, the first 4 or 5 cars fanning out nose to tail.
Yeah, Cole Trickle's back here, keeping it too wide, and then he finally gets a spot in, so he moves inside. Watching towards the back here, they also started going nose to tail, Chris. So really, it's in the mid-pack right now. Those guys are fighting for that position.
Already a lot of movement, as you see. Oh my gosh, they're going 3 wide. They settled it back down, but they were almost 3 wide there for a second. Andy Lambert right in the middle of that. He must not have liked what he was seeing there.
Well, Andy's fighting that number 87 car right now, Robbie Bunden, as he goes on the inside, see if Andy can do something. No, it looks like he's going to just kind of fall in. The 52 of Chris Rummel, the 51 of Dylan Blankenship, and Justin P. in that 60 car are battling right now as Justin goes onto the inside to hopefully get past Mr. Cole Trickle there.
And the Cole Trickle car of Dylan Blankenship, that 51 mellow yellow, looking pretty good tonight. Alan Wild worked his way up to 11th already. So, a lot of movement. Everybody looking good. Everybody keeping pretty clean so far. You see a battle right now with the 45. The 45, Douglas Wysocki. Rick Greenaway on the outside of him in the 24 car, trying to maintain position.
Rick's doing a good job keeping it up on top there, and he makes that pass on the 45, keeps him behind him as the number 5 car of James Edwards goes down low to see what he can do down there, but that's going to allow Patrick Smith to catch up a little bit there on the outside.
So far, the outside line is the place you want to be. And you start seeing it work. The 45, the 75, trying it on the 5 car right now. The 5 car shuts the door, and Pat Smith takes a sniff to the inside and has the momentum for a second. We'll see how it comes off the corner. Not enough there. So the outside looking like it is the preferred line right now. Things may change as the track rubbers in some more. Back up front, we look at the 17 car, AJ Rogers, right now starting to pull away from your second place. Troy Radford in the 94. Scott Noslin, he's up third place, and Chris Mefford back to 4th. Timothy Hale in the 00 trying to make the mid to up line work. So far, so good there.
I'm having a good time watching Chris Rummel in that number 52 car. Chris, he has moved up a few positions as he passes the number 87 car there. And he's working on Andy Lambert right now in that 35. We'll see what happens there.
George, good to see you tonight, bud. Thanks for stopping in. Take a peek at what we're showing you tonight. If you pick up on a favorite, you let us know. And I believe the other night, Troy Radford in the 94, you were happy to see him win. So there's a nice shot of his 94 late model car for you.
And he's got a battle on his hands too, Chris, and I want to welcome George. Thank you for stopping in again tonight. But that number 33 come and go of Scott Noslin is really tried to make some moves there on 94 of Troy Radford. Hasn't been able to do it yet, as Troy's staying in that high line, and Scott has to go down to the inside, and it's just not working out for anybody, it seems, tonight.
Inside line not working yet. That may change as the laps tick off. I just realized. Boom. We're on lap 13 of 100 already.
Yeah, that's one thing about this track, Chris. It doesn't seem small when you're actually driving it, but the laps tick off very quick here. So, I bet you these guys don't even know what lap they're on as the caution comes out.
Caution flag flies, and we see it right there. Rick Greenaway having troubles with the 24 car early on in this race. We'll take a peek and see what happened. You see the 24 car kind of running by himself right here. A little bit of damage to the right front beforehand. And it looks like he just came in a little hot and right into the inside retainer. That will probably be it for Rick tonight, and that's too bad. I know he was really looking forward to tonight's race. You see him pulling into the pits now with the engine very obviously on fire. Obviously not driving well either, as he hit the wall again in pit road. So steering is off on that one as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't take much of these cars, Chris. They're pretty delicate. You can bang them a little bit around if you're, playing a little bump and run, but they can't take much of a hit. So unfortunately tonight for Rick Greenaway in that number 24 Autism and Greenway Motorsports Productions car, I don't know if he's going to be able to get back out there. The camber looks off, the smoking, but we'll see what happens as everybody's starting to come down into the pits now. Or not everybody, but a lot of guys.
Everybody's probably screaming for new tires, that's for sure.
Seems more as the people in the back that came in, Chris. Chris Rummel did come in, which actually I'm kind of surprised because he was moving quite good, but maybe that is why he came in too. Maybe he learned all those positions. All they did was eat up the tires as Patrick Smith also comes out. JP is sitting out on pit road also in that number 60 car. He gets moving. And everyone's just waiting for the field to go by for the pit road to open.
Gotta be careful coming out of pit road on a short track. If you come out at the wrong time, the pit road will be closed. You can get a black flag real easy doing that. I know I've fallen victim to that a couple of times. So good on them for catching the fact that pit road was closed and they could not enter the track. Take a look at some of these nice cars up front here. Looks like the 44 car of Chris Mefford has a little bit of right front damage. He must have gotten into the wall a little bit. It's not going to slow him down. These cars don't slow down for a little bit of right front damage. They're not really dependent. Yeah, that's a good shot of it right there, actually. In that red and white, number 44. So take a peek in at Scott Noslin. He's looking good in that 33, up to 4th place already. And right behind him, Timothy Hale. Andy Lambert in the 35. He's worked his way up to 6th. This track is definitely suiting his driving style as we go back 2 by 2, which means we're getting ready to go back green flag racing. Would like to say it again. Welcome to all the viewers. Really appreciate you coming out tonight. Racing for a Cause TV putting on Racing for a Cause late model series tonight at Irwindale on the outer ring. A 17 car with a shot again off from that green flag start, but the outside is where you want to be, and Troy Radford tried to take advantage there for a second but couldn't quite do it as the 17 shut the door. Right now Scott Noslin, he's making hay on the inside line. He's holding on to that position as long as he can.
Yeah, it's a really good battle here, Chris. It was kind of funny. The 17 did take right off, and before he knew it, he was looking in his mirror, seeing 2 cars there battling for a second, as it looks like Scott Noslin might have it on Troy Radford here at this lap. The track is slick. These guys have new tires, and they took advantage of it. They did a good job there.
So the 33 car, the first car we've seen so far with a pass on the inside. it'll be interesting to see if that inside line starts coming in as you see Troy Radford take a peek on the inside, see if he can do the same thing. But Mefford is the one that starts doing it. Mefford pulls way down low. And certainly on corner entry, it looked like he had an advantage, but Troy Radford able to power away on that outside line. Chris Mefford starting to get a little squirrely. We're going to keep an eye right here as the 00 Timothy Hale got into the back of Mefford just a little bit. Meanwhile, the 35 car of Andy Lambert taking advantage of it all on the inside lane. That inside lane looks like it is starting to come into it.
Yeah, a few more laps, we'll start seeing the rubber really being laid down there, Chris, and the guys will start using it a lot more for moves. They are trying now. It is working to a point as Andy Lambert moves back up to get up behind Chris Mefford there in the 44 car. Getting a little love tap by Timothy Hale in that 0-0, but look, there's Chris Rummel on the inside right now trying to pass them both right now. He does get a little bit momentum as he's coming off, but once he gets back into the gas there, he loses a lot of it at that corner exit and has to try again.
Chris Rummel in the 52 car showing a lap down, and he touches the inside of Timothy Hale. They both start losing it, but able to gather it back up. This race may stay green. It looks like they do.
Yep, really want to give props to both drivers. But Timothy Hale there in that 0-0, you know, he saved it. He didn't go around, didn't take anybody else out. So good job there, Timothy.
Timothy Hale with the 0-0 goes from 6th to 10th. It could have been a lot worse than that, though. We do have a few cars that are showing a lap down, but they've already pit. They're on fresh tires, so they should be able to make a little hay here and maybe stay out when the leaders do finally have to pit. Everybody will have to pit at least one time in this series. They only run 50% fuel.
Ooh, JP gets a little loose there. Does a really good job, Chris, saving that. Only lost a couple positions. Or he didn't lose because he is a lap down. He is the first car a lap down. He did a really good job there on that save, though. Congratulations. That's one thing that a lot of people don't realize, man. These cars, you know, you got to give them a little bit of love. You know, you can't really crank that wheel, and that's a common thing with sim racers. When they start spinning, they want to crank that wheel as fast as they can, kind of what you would do in almost a real car. But you really want to put the smallest amount of input, and JP did a really good job with that save right there.
JP, Justin Pinnell, back down to 12th. He did lose one position. He's currently showing just 12th place behind Dylan Blankenship, the 51 car right ahead of him. Dylan is now showing the first car one lap down as we've crossed over the 33 lap mark, and these are definitely clicking off fast.
Yes, they are, Chris. It looks like the number 51 of Dylan Blankenship there, he had to really check up there for on the 45 of Douglas Wasaki. Which kind of caused everything. The drivers did a really good job of checking up and not causing a crash there, but going in a little too hard. You know, the tires are already starting to go away on these guys, it seems, especially the ones that are pushing real hard.
New tires don't last long. Still, the inside lane is green. The outside lane starting to take in some rubber at this point. So it'll be interesting to see if the cars move down a little bit. You see JP just touched the back side of that 51 car just a little bit. No big deal there. Just a little love tap. The big problem right now for JP is he's on the inside line, and the number 5 car, James Edwards, well, we'll scratch that as JP was able to shut the door and keep going.
Yeah, you're starting to see the cars move down just about a half lane, Chris. It looks like that might start coming in a little bit here as these laps tick away, as we're going to lap 36 now, 100.
Just starting lap 37, Scott Naslin right behind the 17, so the 17 car advantage is all but gone. Scott Naslin taking a look on the inside, looking to take control of this race. Didn't have it there. He's going to stay right on his bumper, though. Go back to third place. That's Chris Mefford in the 44, just passing Troy Radford. Troy Mard back in the 4th place now. Andy Lambert behind him. He's putting on a chase. The 87 car, Robbie Bunden, he's your 6th place car. Alan Wild in the 29. This is his first race back in a little while. Well, him and Rowdy Johnson just switched places. So Rowdy Johnson, that's your 7th place. Alan Wild, 8th. Douglas Wysocki, 9th. And Timothy Hale, involved in a little skirmish earlier, but no harm, no foul there. He's your 10th place car.
Right now, that gap it looks like it might have increased between second and third. You know, the guys back there, Chris Smepford, I believe it is, and Troy Radford really want to see Scott Noslin and AJ do a little bit of racing here to give a little bit of time to catch up, but we'll see what happens because right now 1 and 2 are taking it right away.
Yeah, absolutely. AJ Rogers and Scott Noslin, they're kind of walking away as they continue to stay kind of nose to tail here. You did see earlier Scott try and go for the lead, but he thought better of it and tucked up behind as they try and extend their lead a little bit more, possibly just so they can race without any interference. Now's a good time to say, again, thank you to all of you watching Racing for a Cause TV tonight. We're bringing you Racing for a Cause Late Model Series here at Irwindale Speedway.
A few more laps. Looks like the leaders are going to have to start dealing with some lap cars. We'll see if that's going to throw a little wrench in their plan or if they're just going to coast straight by there on that high line. It's kind of interesting to see the different lines that are going right now as the number 17 of AJ goes down to that white line about half a lane down. He was staying up closer to the wall, but I think as that track is starting to rubber up, as we can see, it's getting darker. So these guys are going to start making moves, get a little courageous, and see what happens down there.
Rick Greenaway wishing he could buy a break, and I understand completely from what we saw. Looks like it kind of got a little loose coming off and right into the inside retainer. Really sorry about that. I know you were looking forward to tonight's race, but now you get to watch it.
And there's always next week, buddy. You know, the bad luck can't last forever, so just hang in there. Scott Noslin, number 33, Chris, he has been pushing for that lead now, trying to pass AJ in that 17 car. He went down low, but it did not work for him, even though the cars got even. So a couple more laps, it might work for him.
Definitely the race to watch right now is for the lead. Scott Noslin kind of takes a step away, then he'll try and reel him back in. I think it's a matter of when he catches him. I think if he can catch him right in the right spot, he might try and do a little slide job to take over first place, but he's got to catch him again first.
Yeah, it's one of those tough things. I mean, you can see the lines that they're trying. I mean, they're all trying. They're not just sticking to a line right now as they're coming up close to the wall. They're coming about halfway down in that outside lane, trying to do what they can do. Scott's looking to make a pass. He's just waiting for that one chance, and it's going to come at some point. AJ can't hold out forever. We'll see what happens.
Brian Hacker joining us in chat. Brian, I didn't see what happened. What happened there, bud?
Well, that's one thing about these short tracks, Chris. I mean, everybody did good at Iowa. Iowa's kind of a NASCAR style short track. It is a little bit big for these cars, so there's a lot of room. It's a quite fast track. But as we move on through the season, we're going to hit these really small, Saturday night style short tracks. So, they're not as easy as people think, and there's a lot of throttle control, a lot of braking control that you have to have on these tracks. And, some people get it easier than others. None of them are really the same. So it's going to be a real interesting season.
Right now we're watching a battle for 5th place as Robbie Bunden's trying to put it on Andy Lambert. Andy is racing like he's on dirt. The rear of that car will not stay underneath it. As you see again, he got loose coming off from that corner. Andy Lambert in the 35 under fire by Robbie Bunden, who was actually 5th as they crossed the line there.
Knowing Andy, though, in that number 35 Children's Miracle Network car, Chris, he does like a loose car. So, maybe he doesn't like it quite this loose, but, he's kind of happy, I think, about where he's at right now.
Andy Lambert, one of the 10 cars that have not pit yet, and it's showing on track.
I bet you if we pulled him up right here, right now, he would probably be praying for a caution, though. I know he, like I said, he likes to lose cars. He's usually not too worried about his tires. But right now, it looks like they're really giving away, and I bet you he has his hands full there in the cockpit. So I think right now he just let Robbie Bundon in that 87 car pass him just so he wasn't racing him too hard. Got Rowdy there behind him, Alan Wild, JP. So he's got plenty of room there. He's just going to kind of hold it out and see what happens in the next laps here.
As we take a look inside of the cockpit of Andy Lambert, you see that he's already changing his line a little bit, and you see the car pushing up towards the wall. Boy, he had to slow down so he didn't hit that wall.
Well, Brian, I definitely want to say thank you for coming out. I know that you are traveling for work. I know you're down off your rig. You're with a laptop and a controller. You gave it a shot, buddy, and that's what really matters. So, you got your starting points, and there's always next week, my friend. I hope you have a good, safe trip. Everything works out for you, and you get home safe.
Scott Noslin in that 33 car trying to catch the 17 of AJ Rogers one more time. At one point, the interval was a half a second, down to 0.3 of a second now. Scott Noslin in the 33 trying to make a charge.
One thing about Scott Noslin in that 33 come and go car, Chris, he is a very patient driver. He will sit there and he will just wear down, keep trying when he has a chance. He won't overdrive. He's going to try to make a good, clean pass. But right now, I think he's really just trying to get on the nerves, per se, of AJ. Let him know that he's there. Keep reminding him that he's there. And hope that AJ maybe goes in a little too hot, slips up, and it'll give that shot for that pass.
Could very well be as the interval shrinks again down to 0.2 of a second. Scott Noslin in the 33 really trying to get to the back bumper of the 17 of AJ Rogers. And
Rowdy Johnson in that 13 car also catching up to Andy right now as I move a little way back. I know that Rowdy really likes this track. Next week, I believe, is the track that he really is looking forward to, but he does pretty good here at Irwindale. He's doing good. He's a solid top 7. He was 7th fastest in practice, and he qualified 14th, so he moved up 7 positions as he's right there behind Andy Lambert in that number 35 car.
Andy Lambert absolutely praying for a caution at this point. I don't know how much longer he can hold on to that car. It is starting to get loose in the rear.
Yeah, he definitely loses a lot of momentum when he goes into the corner, Chris, when it starts sliding there, and that's giving Rowdy in that number 13 car a chance to get right up on the back bunker, and there's a little push there as Andy goes around. Looks like we're going to have a caution here.
Caution flag right there. You saw it. Rowdy Johnson, Alan Wild, Andy Lambert all involved in that one. And it looks like the 52 got a little bit of it too at the end. And that's Chris Rummel, 52. All kinds of piled up. And it looks like everybody's going to get their wish right here as the caution flag's out at lap 65 of 100. Time for tires, time for fuel. And then we're going to go right back racing again.
Yeah, I'm sure Andy Lambert's not too happy there. His car is pretty damaged heavily on the left and right side, Chris, and the rear. That's not what he was hoping for. He did get his caution, but his car's pretty beat up, Chris, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
Looks like the only straight panel on that car right now is the roof. Rowdy Johnson, another car involved, and you see the right front tore up on that 13 D-Strong car as he makes his way into pit road.
Yeah, I want to apologize to Rowdy now when he watches this broadcast later. There's the broadcaster curse once again. We try to give everybody a little bit of equal shot here on the camera and on the broadcast, and sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. It was a good try, buddy. You're doing good. As the cars come down, Chris, finish up their pit stops there. I just want to take a moment to remind people about our cause that we're racing for lately. A little different than what we normally do. We do have a GoFundMe page set up for one of our members, Jason Perry. He has been through some very unfortunate times here within the last year. He lost his cousin last year in May to a brain aneurysm. He lost his aunt back in March with her battle that she lost with ALS, and he's going through a little bit of a hard time now. So we started up a GoFundMe page just to try to help him out with the day-to-day bills, and I'll post that up here in the chat, and I'll have to make a point to post it up in the comments or on our stream here after. But if anybody can do anything, for him, that would be great. Even if it's $1. If you can't donate, we understand times are tough for everybody. But if you can at least share it to people, that would be fabulous.
As the cars line up 2 by 2, you see Andy Lambert in the 35 car deciding not to pit. He's going to be starting on the outside front row. This could be dangerous as a lot of cars, most cars behind him, have fresh tires. The 00 of Timothy Hale did pit earlier, and you see right now the difference between fresh and old tires, as Andy Lambert's kind of a sitting duck on the outside row. He might be causing another issue. Andy Lambert with no pit into the wall, 3 wide, 4 wide, trying to get away from the 35 car right now, who's definitely on old tires, and you see it right there. Troy Radford in the 94 taking advantage.
Troy Radford did a really good job going way on the inside to pass that number 45 car of Douglas Wasaki. And boy, that was a mess, Chris. There were so many cars in one little spot. These guys did a fabulous job getting through that.
A great job not to have another caution, as you see all the cars coming around Andy Lambert. Andy's kind of a sitting duck out there on older tires and a beat-up race car to boot. Douglas Wasaki right behind him also did not pit yet. So those two are on older tires, although the difference in the cars is pretty evident.
Yeah, they'll race around each other there for a little while, but as we see the number 45 car is starting to go underneath the inside of the 35, the 52 of Chris Rummel slows him up a little bit, then takes off, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, this is a danger zone, as we've got 2 slower cars right in front of another pack of cars that have come into pit. Alan Wild looking to get around both of them. Alan Wild in the 29, he is on fresh tires.
Patrick Smith in the 75 car is really holding that bottom line, doing a good job there. JP's following him a little bit. We'll see. We're going to see Patrick here make a pass here eventually, as he lost a lot of momentum there. I think he went a little bit too hard. Ooh. And the 87, Robbie Bond goes around.
The 87 and 29, Robbie Bund and Alan Wild go around together. That forces another caution flag. Lap 75 of 100 here at Irwindale. Alan Wild not having the best of luck here in the last 10 laps, as he's been caught up in 2 now. Your leader at this point, the 44 car of Chris Mefford. Timothy Hale did an excellent job. He has not pit yet, and he's still running second. I don't know how he's doing it on old tires, but good job at Timothy Hale. AJ Rogers in the 17 car, he's running third. Scott Noslin, the 33 car of Scott Noslin, he's running fourth. Your 5th place car right now, Troy Radford. And you saw them all trying to skirt around Andy Lambert earlier. Troy Radford decides he's coming in for pits.
Yeah, it looks like Andy in the number 35 Children's Miracle Network car has finally come into the pits. He knows that he needs tires now. It was a good shot, but it was just hard with everybody right there.
Andy Lambert desperately needing tires, comes into the pits. Desperately needing fuel at this point too, I'm assuming. And there he is right now. Your leader, the 44 car, Chris Mefford. Again, he's followed by Timothy Hale. Timothy Hale, who has not pit yet. Don't know if he thinks there's been enough cautions or caution laps to try and make it without pitting. I don't think that's possible.
If it is, it's going to be really close, Chris. It's going to be him pulling in here on fumes at the end of the race.
There's a race summary right now. Again, currently your leader, 44 car, Chris Mefford. We've done 78 of 100. We've had 6 lead changes. Really pretty caution free. I was thinking this would have more cautions in it. 3 for 12 laps. We'll take that any day of the week. That's a good show.
That's definitely a good show. These guys. I mean, we had 18 cars on the track, Chris. That's a lot. That's it's about normal for this size track, and this is it's a really exciting race. These guys are doing a good job.
It looks like Rowdy Johnson decided that enough was enough. He is disconnected from the server. James Edwards in the 5 car. Looks like he's also disconnected from the server. So we are starting to lose a couple to attrition here at Irwindale. As we are lap 80 of 100, we're going to have a nice little 20 lap shootout. Patience is going to be key to try and finish this one under green.
Yeah, some of these drivers, they decided to pack it up early, bring their cars back to the shop, do a bunch of body work, retune that engine for next week, Chris. It's going to be really interesting next week.
Robbie Bunden taking his lucky dog. He's coming back to the lead lap. So good job, Robbie Bunden. As the guys go side by side, getting ready to go to green flag action. You saw the pace car dip in. He's Chris Mefford. It's his call when they go, and he decides now is the time as that 44 car comes back up to life. 17 car, AJ Robert. Oh, and the pit car, the pace car came back out. Did I miscall that, or was that lag?
No, listening to the official race stuff, I'm not exactly sure what happened. There was no caution flag that was brought out, but there goes the pace car once again.
Okay, that's not sure what happened there. Next week we are going to Lanier next week for 150 laps, and we are back green flag racing here. I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but we'll go with it. Chris Mefford, still your leader. AJ Rogers, Scott Noslin, and Timothy Hale has fallen back to 4th now. And remember, he is on older tires. No pit stop at this point. So Timothy Hale trying to hang on. Right behind him, Troy Radford is your 5th place car in that 94. So we've got some battles going again. You see JP in that 60 car really starting to turn it on now as he's running 8th. He's trying to get to the inside of Alan Wild, but that might bite him because on the outside you have the 51 car. And that 51 car of Dylan Blankenship, he is a lap down, but he's right where JP would like to be on that outside line.
Troy Radford made a good move there, Chris, to get past Timothy in that 00 car. Went way down on the inside and made a nice clean pass as he moved back up. And now Troy Radford sitting in 4th place.
Troy Radford in the 94 Kidney Machine heading to 4th. So we come back to look at the back of the pack here. Most of the cars are pretty clean. It's been a good race. You see right now the 60 car still working the inside of the track. He's working against the 29 car right now of Alan Wild. And it looks like JP is starting to find a little something down there as he's not losing any position right now.
Yeah, as I said, Troy Radford made a really good move down there. I think JP saw that, so he's just trying it a little to see what's going to happen right now as he's even with Alan Wild in that number 29 American Red Cross car. It looks like JP in another lap or so might get it. We'll see what happens. He's got Chris Rummel in that 52 car to help him out there.
Yeah, right now, the 45 car, Douglas Wasaki, he's running in 6th, but he seems to be maybe holding up a couple of drivers. You see a very aggressive move by the 52 car of Chris Rummel shooting himself out of a cannon around that corner, and you see the 60 car, JP, moves up, so JP finally taking over 2nd position, and he did it on the inside lane. Alan Wild right on his bumper.
Yeah, JP did a really good job there to get 7th. Looks like Chris Rummel's trying to do the same thing on Alan Wild, trying to stay on the inside, trying to gain any momentum that he possibly can. You got a couple more guys there behind him that are fighting for position 2. Ronnie Bunden of that 87 car is coming up on Alan Wild now on the inside, try to do the same thing as Chris Rummel moves up.
Oh, JP gets just a little touch into the 45. 45 catches it. No problem there. The 45 still looks like he might be trying to spin that thing around. Still saves it. Everybody around except for, who was that?
That
Alan
was
Wild
Alan
into
Wild.
the fence. Oh, poor Alan. Really having a tough go of it tonight in his first night back with Racing for a Cause in quite some time. That 29 car definitely seen better days. You see smoke coming out of the engine, and he pulls it off the raceway. So we stay green here at Irwindale, and your leader still Chris Mefford in that 44 car. He's followed very closely by the 17 of AJ Rogers. AJ trying to figure out how to catch him. With only 6 laps to go, it's going to be a tough thing to do. That gap 0.8 of a second right now. The battle on the track right now is for 3rd place. You have Scott Noslin in the 33, Troy Radford in the in the 94. Troy Radford trying to find a way around Scott. Can it be done?
It's going to be interesting to see what happens there, Chris. These guys they're pushing now. We're at lap 95. We got 4 laps now as we come to the line to go. Just want to mention next Monday night, the Racing for a Cause K&N Series heads to Atlanta for the Prime Star 100. It's going to be a good show, Chris.
Yeah, Atlanta. It's going to be hot. It's going to be slippery. Kobe, if you're interested in driving with us, check us out on Facebook, Racing for a Cause. See if the number 18 is available. I believe it is. And join us. It's all for good fun, all for a cause. Lap 98 right now. Chris Mefford in the 44 still holds a half a second lead over AJ Rogers. So AJ still has a lot of work to do to try and catch him as they cross over the line to start lap 99. Troy Radford way down low trying to get past Scott Noslin. Way down low, and he wasn't able to make it work. He got squirrely when he touched the apron and was able to save it back up. Looks like JP, Justin Pinnell, trying to go around Timothy Hale in the 00. JP looking to have a top 5 finish tonight. The 52 car, Chris Rummel, dives down low on the 00. This one's going to be at the line. I think Timothy Hale may have kept that. Yes, he did. A lot of action coming at the very end there. Your winner, the 44 machine of Chris Mefford. 2nd place, AJ Rogers, Scott Noslin rounds out your top 3.
What a race, Chris. Those laps tick down really quick tonight.
Yeah. 50 miles is just awesome. When you have a little half-mile track like this, they go quick. And you see Chris Mefford running the Polish victory lap around this little half-mile track of Irwindale Speedway. Oh, Bug.
Hey, Bug.
You missed a good one. But there's your winner right there. It's spoiler for you. No problem, bud. It happens. There's a summary of the race. 100 laps complete. 8 different lead changes, 3 cautions, only 14 laps. You know what? That's a pretty clean race.
Oh, it's a great race, Chris. These guys, I want to tip my hat to the drivers tonight. Every one of them did a really good job.
Kobe, it'd be great to have you. Sergio, thanks for coming out and watching. Appreciate that. Kobe, if you want, just look us up on iRacing and look for Racing for a Cause, and we'll get you signed up.
Yeah, and just so you know, Kobe, this summer series, we are running the K&N Throwback on Monday nights with the K&N car, following the 1997 Winston Cup schedule. And on Wednesday nights at 8:35 p.m. Eastern, is both races, is when practice starts, is our late model series. And coming this fall, we have a bunch of more series coming to Racing for a Cause, so look out for that too.
Yeah, we're going to be very, very busy come this fall. And that is okay. So, 50 miles, your winner, Chris Mefford. Second place finisher, AJ Rogers. Third place finisher, Scott Noslin. So I think we should probably talk to some of these guys. And we just set that up real quick here. I don't see... I do see... I'm going to take him right now. Oh, you already did it?
Yep, they're all there in the
There
stage
we
room for you,
go.
boss man.
Perfect. So we'll talk to the 33 car of Scott Noslin, who finished third tonight. Scott, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. You have a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going tonight?
Doing very well. A third place finish. Car was looking strong. Can you tell me a little bit about the track?
Really hard to pass. The only time I could pass was on the restarts, and that last caution, or the first caution, like lap 74 or something, I think I made a mistake by pitting, because I think I may have been able to hold them off.
Well, you did a really good job there, Scott. I mean, you put on a heck of a show tonight in that number 33 come and go car. You know, it looked like the inside line just did not have enough laps to come in. You guys were trying to make some passes down there, but it was a little tough. We understand, but you did a good job, buddy. Is there anybody out there you want to thank?
Just come and go, and Crisco, and you guys for putting the show on. It was a ball. I had a blast racing with AJ. I mean, I thought I just couldn't get around him at all. I mean, it was tough racing. It was a great race, though.
Yes, it was, Scott, and I want to thank you because that was a heck of a good show. And speaking of AJ Rogers is new to the league, but definitely not new to iRacing. AJ, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, Chris, how's it going?
Doing very well. Well, welcome to the league.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Man, tell me about the car. Tell me about your race.
Well, it was running really good. I enjoyed every minute of it. You know, it's hard. The track's little bit difficult to keep up with everybody with the pace car and seeing where everything's coming up. So I may have made a few people upset about that, and I apologize to those guys. But I feel like I had a car that should have won. But Chris got around me on a pit stop, and I thought I was going to be able to run him down, and ended up hitting the wall. So, but it was fun, and really enjoyed everything.
Well, AJ, this is Rick up here in the booth. I want to say, man, first, welcome to the league. It's always a pleasure to have new members here. You did a heck of a job tonight, buddy. I mean, you led quite a few laps. You were very strong. So, you know, a really good showing there. And, you know, we hope to see you for the weeks to come.
Oh, definitely. Y'all will definitely see me again. There's no doubt about that. Thank y'all.
Well, thank you. Is there anybody out there that you want to thank, bud?
Well, I got auto owners on my car that I usually run, and I was going to run a pink and white car tonight for my grandmother for breast cancer awareness, so definitely wanted to win that one for her, but she's a 5-time cancer survivor, so it would have been nice to put a win on the board, but it is what it is, and we'll go get them next time.
Oh, that's right, buddy. That's a great cause there. If you need any help, we have a lot of talented painters, including myself. You know, if you need somebody to help, we'll definitely do that. Once again, welcome, and you know, we'll see you next week, and we'll hope to see you in Victory Lane soon.
That's
yes,
AJ.
you will. Thank you.
That was AJ Rogers, your second place finisher tonight. Great job out of him. But it all comes down to the last lap, and the leader of that last lap is one Chris Mefford in the 44 car. Chris, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Sure do. How's it going, guys?
Doing well, man. Doing very well. So your night, never really out of the top 5, but definitely not leading until the very end few laps. Tell me about the night.
Well, beginning of the night, I was gonna just start saving tires because I know tires is going to be important here. And you know, if you start sliding, you're just going to get past and just fall back. Well, that caution came out, and I knew the only way I could have a chance is if those guys took 2 tires and I took 4, and luckily that's what happened. And looks like they must have got together a little bit on that first restart, and it caused a little opening. I had to shoot my chance because I had to take them early, put these tires to use.
Well, that was the thing, Chris. I mean, we were watching this race. It really seemed like a one group racetrack there until the end. I think if we had maybe another 25, 30 laps or so on the race, I think that inside group might have came in, but you did a heck of a job, buddy. You're a veteran of the league. You're here week in and week out. We appreciate everything that you do for us. Is there anybody out there you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, it was definitely a one groove track. You said. I mean, there's probably a couple other grooves, but it's all just that one main groove. And I was thinking, you know, if I could get high enough out of the groove to the white part of the track, it had a little more banking, so I might be able to use it. But I just kept on getting to the wall. But I'd like to thank you guys for hosting this league. It's been a long time coming for me in these late models. I've done in the street stocks, just not the late models. I've had a little bit of bad luck, a little bit of good luck in the Throwback K&N series, which that's a fun race series. Um, I think my teammates at GMR Motorsports, Jason, Troy, Tom, and our new member Greeny, uh, it's just been a blast racing with you guys.
Well, we really appreciate it, and normally I would cut us down right there, but we've got a question from somebody out in the audience asking, "What was your strategy to win tonight?"
Well, like I said, you know, you got to keep your car clean because if you get this thing pushing, it's just going to push and you're going to burn them tires off. So, my number one goal was probably keeping it clean and with a close second of tires.
And you've already mentioned it once. This one's been a long one coming in this particular series, but what does it mean to you to be a winner here in this series finally?
It means a lot. It means hopefully my luck's turning back around. I know beginning of last season, I was running pretty strong and just had a lot of bad luck. And then I started coming along little by little and had a couple top 5 finishes. But yeah, it most definitely means a lot.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And I can't thank you enough for being with us tonight. And congratulations again on the win. And for that, that's the end of the race, Rick.
Yeah, it was a good race, Chris. I'm really looking forward to next week. Tonight is in the books now. Chris Metford, your winner. AJ Rogers, new member to the league, finishes second. Scott Noslin. I mean, all the names are there. I don't want to forget JP. Rounds out our top 5. He did really good. Their 11th fastest practice, 9th in qualifying, and 5th at the race. So he did a good job. And that's that, man. I mean, now we look forward to going to Atlanta.
Atlanta it is. That's Monday night. And that's going to be the throwback series of the K&N car. Tune in on Monday. We'll be bringing you all the action live here on Racing for a Cause TV. Thank you very much, everybody.